Angron is coming. We are now in the final stretch of seeing this mammoth return of a traitor Primarch. Of course, he goes on pre-order on Saturday for everyone who's going to be buying him. But for now, we've just had a brand new interview about the brand new Angron book, about his return back into the Warhammer 40,000 lore. And there is some absolutely juicy details in this, which is building the hype levels up for me, because it's a bloody traitor Primarch coming back. One of the best traitor Primarchs, in my opinion, returning to the setting. So let's jump in, let's go through it all, and let's get waffling. Now, just so we're all on the same page, no pun intended, this is the brand new Warhammer 40,000 Angron book. It's by the author David Geimer. You can see it in the background right now. It's called Angron the Red Angel, and it's basically about Angron's return. The overview of it is like the World Eaters are basically a shattered legion at this point. There's so many war bands, they've been broken up. People have tried to form them and put them back together, but it hasn't really happened. And now with Angron's return, we're about to see technically the reformation of the World Eater Legion. Like, I've heard like these rumors of, more than 50,000 World Eaters that are just going to be charging forward under the banner of Angron and under the banner of the World Eater Legion one more time. It's absolutely insane when you try and think about this. That many Space Marines, that many blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Thrones. I'm sure the World Eaters and Angron are going to have a massive effect on the new lore that's about to happen going forward with 10th edition and all the other stories that we're going to get. Now, another cool thing is that it actually does mention Armageddon in this. We'll get to that in a second, because this is where the hype is going. Potentially, we could have some big things that happen around Armageddon. We know what Armageddon is. We know what happened in the first war of Armageddon. A lot of people don't know because, they were basically shot in the back of their head, or their minds were erased. There's so much stuff that happened at Armageddon. But the book goes into detail about basically what it's kind of going to be about, like the main characters who it's going to follow. And for me, again, as someone who's getting into the World Eaters, I've literally gone to buy a World Eater armor. I'm really, really interested in this, because I think this is going to be my first baby steps in walking, basically in the shadow of chaos, in the shadow of Khorne himself. So it says right here that, again, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen if you want to read it for yourself. There are 3 core Space Marine characters in Angron the Red Angel, who each represent different points along the spectrum. We have Kosalax, the Forsworn, a powerful warlord, and the current master of the Conqueror, Angron's ancient flagship. Again, we don't really see the big epic ships that we, used to always see in the Horus Heresy. So Kosalax is basically like the main World Eater at the moment within the World Eaters. It goes on to say he's been mentioned a number of times in the background of Warhammer 40,000 as a leading figure in the World Eaters, and he's probably the guy most invested in pulling the fragments of his legion back together. So he's like the standard, like, to rally around, and he's trying to bring the World Eaters back together. Of course, Angron is probably not going to be back at this time. He actually just said he's been keeping the banner flying through Angron's absence. Look at me predicting the future. I should have read forward. Even while the other warlords spread out around him, and the galaxy doing berserk things in berserk ways, because that's what World Eaters do, right? He's just blood, rage, everything like that. Elsewhere, there's another character called Lydius. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I probably haven't. I butchered it. Who isn't technically a World Eater yet, rather than, he's basically, it says he's a renegade space marine who wants to become one. So that's going to be a really, really cool thing to see as well. Like someone who has not fully given themselves over and who wants to walk down that, what do we call it? The eightfold path. Chaos players, am I saying that right? The last one is another character, and forgive me for this name. He's called Shaka. And basically it says he's totally gone. He's giving himself over to the Bloodthirst, the Blood Rage. He is what a Khorne berserker is. So there's 3 different viewpoints of 3 different characters that are all being involved with the World Eaters. Now, on to the fun stuff in the article. It says, the person who asked the questions, it says, avoiding any juicy spoilers. Screw that. Juice me in my mouth. Wait, what? Are there any moments that the readers should look forward to? And David says, again, it's at the bottom, I did enjoy writing about the renegade leaders. Again, butchered the name. And I think anyone interested in a broken legion like the World Eaters actually functions will like his scenes. Some of the magical confrontations with the Grey Knights were also fun to write. So we've got confirmation. We got like the air bells. We're about to get World Eaters versus Grey Knights again. Of course, the Grey Knights are going to see Angron come back there. Like, it's time to banish him one more time. He cannot stay around. So we've got to have this epic clash. I want more Grey Knights in my story. I'm a huge fan of Grey Knights. So just to see this, I'm absolutely buzzing. Top gravy, as I like to say, to see the Grey Knights getting involved. It goes on to say, particularly a scene where they sail into a demonic rift around the world of Armageddon, as it really amps up the chaos, warp, weirdness of Warhammer 40,000. So they are going to be around Armageddon. I am 120 billion% convinced, and this is where I'm going to be wrong now, that Angron is going to walk on Armageddon one more time. The World Eaters are going to go to Armageddon, pick him up, and then that's when he's going to be yeeting around the galaxy, and we're going to have the stuff that's going to be taking part in like the Arcs of Omen stuff. But the potential of Angron returning to Armageddon, again, we don't really have a wrap-up of Yarrick and stuff. We're going to see maybe a glimpse of him here, get some more stuff around that. The Orcs are on Armageddon as well, and we're going to maybe see like a little bit of a glimpse of, you know, a big Orc war boss. Gaz Skull has been thrown around plenty of times as well. There's so many bloody questions now. There's so much they can do with this book and going forward with Angron. I am literally just buzzing my clogs off to see what we get. And that's basically it. I'm sorry, I wish I had more for you. Of course, this is a little hype-up article that they've put out there. But like I said, some of the things that they've mentioned in there, this is going to be a day one buy for me. If you don't want to, you know, buy it or anything like that, of course, I'm going to do a lore summary up on the channel with all the big things, all the big events that happens in that book. I'm really, really excited, and I really do think this is going to be an absolute belter. I love it when we get Primarchs involved in stories. Now we all need to wait for is, you know his name. He's in the room with me right now. I hear him in my mind. I'm in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls. All we need to wait for now is the Lion to return, and then it's officially a party. Right, enough waffling from me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. As always, you got any thoughts, feedback, anything that you'd like to see in this story? Like, what do you want to happen with Angron and the World Eaters? Is it like an awesome thing? Like, technically the World Eaters are going to reform behind Angron, even though they hate him so much. Is this something that you wanted? A huge tide of blood crashing down against the Imperium, the Xenos, basically anyone who stands against its wrath. I am pumped. See you in a bit. Have a great one, and bye-bye.